Hello students. Today's topic we are going to discuss regarding ASD, that is atrial septal defect. So already we know about this atrial septal defects. As a revision, we'll see in detail a glance about atrial septal defect. Atrial septal defect means what? So first of all, if you want to see means this is one of the congenital defects by birth where the child used to have the problem. Okay, so here there is an abnormal opening between the right and left atria. So there is an abnormal opening present between the right and left atrium. Okay, so you can able to see over here. So there is a abnormal opening present between the right and left atrium, which is present at this point. Okay, so this is the area where you can able to see this area where there is a opening present between the right and left atrium. Yes, next we'll move on to so this opening which is present here on the atrial septal defect, where the blood used to mix from higher concentration towards the lower concentration more. Once the right atrium are filled excess, then possibility are there little bit of swelling or little bit of moving of the blood from right to left atrium. So as per this, moving on to the types of atrial septal defect. Over the types of atrial septal defect, if you are seeing sinus venosus, ostium secundum and ostium primum. So where the atrial septal defect which is present at the top of the atrial septum, which is known as sinus venosus, which is near to the venous. So this is sinus venosus at the top of the atrial septum. Then ostium secundum. Ostium secundum is at the middle of the atrial septum. Is at the middle of the atrial septum between the right and left atrium. The next we are seeing the ostium primum. Ostium primum at the bottom. We can able to say caval at the bottom, at the caval area. So which is present between the right and left atrium. So sinus venosus, the first one, which is present at the top of the atrial septum between right and left. Then second one is ostium secundum. Ostium secundum is present at the middle, between the exactly middle at the septum between the right and left atrium. Then optimum primum, which is the caval, which is called caval, which is present at the third one, or this is the third one, present at the lower bottom of the septum between the atrial septum between the right and left atrium. So what may be the reason for this problem? So if you are saying the exact reason are unknown, exact cause we don't know, but we can able to see that some possibility are there for atrial septal defect which commonly occurs in these cases are like when that partitioning process does not occur completely, leaving an opening in the atrial septum during the neural tube development. So that is particularly during the embryological stage. So that may be affected due to maybe not properly, the mother is not taken proper nutrition, or it may be due to some genetic factor, or it may be due to some chromosomal abnormality factors. Then premature infants, these are more common one where you can able to identify premature infants. Then infants born to a mother who has had rubella during the first trimester of pregnancy, or a mother who is already having the infection at the time of pregnancy. The next, teratogenic effects of drugs and alcohol during pregnancy time. If the mother is having any chronic disease condition, And for the chronic disease condition, if the mother is taking some drugs, that drugs may affect may affect the development of the child. Example, you can take diabetes mellitus. A pregnant mother who is a diabetic one, already known very well, where the mother was taking insulin. Okay, so where with the knowledge, with the proper consultant from the diabetologist and the physician, then the mother has to follow the drugs. Without their knowledge, if she is following the drugs and during the pregnancy, that may affect the development of the child. So possibility are there. So with the consultation of the obstetricians as well as from the diabetology, where the mother has to take proper concern on drugs. Then alcohol, already you know alcohol, which is having the effect over. The next most common one we can able to see, either there is maybe genetic or chromosomal abnormalities, like example trisomy 18 and 21, where there is a mutation or abnormality of the chromosomes which is carried from the parents towards the next generation. Okay, so these are the some of the common causes which may lead to atrial septal defect. Moving on to the signs and symptoms. So due to this causes, what may be the possibility are there? So irrespective of the causes, the child was suffering with congenital heart defect, the following symptoms will be present. If in case of the septal defect is smaller one, there will be no symptoms or it may be asymptomatic. Once the child is growing on, then the child will shows the symptoms. Okay, then commonly you can able to see if the size of the septal defect is moderate to severe or bigger one, where the child shows congestive heart failure, where if it is in case of severe one, the child heart fails to function. The next, leave about this concept. First and foremost, we will see the normal signs and symptoms in case of, from the mild cases, when the child is growing on, the septal defect is growing on. So where the child used to show frequent upper respiratory tract infections. So these child used to have frequent upper respiratory tract infection, a history of frequent upper respiratory tract infections we can able to identify. The second one you can able to identify are poor weight gain or growth. The child is having poor weight gain, even though having sufficient amount of nutritious food, or there is a demand for the oxygen, so all the system can't able to function properly. The child neglect the feeding because the child can't able to take the feeding properly. Why? The reason is the child demands excess oxygen due to the defect. So possibility are there, the child will be having tachypnea as well as tachycardia. So during the feeding time, the already you know infants are, they are, once they are breathing, there they will be having tachypnea. The mother is supposed to give feeding for the child. The child can't able to tolerate for a longer period of time. So soon the child become tired. So the child can't able to take the feeding also properly. So decreased exercise tolerance. Same thing. Once the child can't able to do the activity properly, like infant used to flex and extend or move their extremities, do this activity doing also, they get easily, we can able to say, they'll tired easily. The next, fatigue, then sweating excessively, then rapid breathing is present, that is tachypnea. Then shortness of breath also we can able to identify. So these are the possible signs and symptoms once the child is going on, where we can able to identify. Okay, next moving on to diagnostic evaluation. Physical examination. First and foremost is a physical examination. On auscultation, we can able to see that soft systolic murmur heard at the left upper sternal border. Soft systolic murmur heard at the upper sternal border. There is a soft systolic murmur where there is the ejaculation or the mixing of the blood is taking place, where the heart due to excess pressure, where you can able to see extra murmur sound where the blood is escaping from or transmitting. The next, because excess pressure is excreted on the pulmonary artery, because once the blood moves from the atrium, once again the blood will circulate, once again comes to the right atrium. So where the blood has to be pushed back once again to the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, the pressurized will be once again passing to the pulmonary artery. So right ventricle and pulmonary artery always used to have excess pressure. So that pressure will be excreted. That sound is murmur sound. Then chest X-ray. The heart may be enlarged. Changes that takes place in the lungs due to extra blood flow. Heart may be get enlarged. Example, I already had said possibility are there. Not the possibility. You can able to see that blood from you can able to see blood from right atrium. It will goes to right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it will be pushed to the pulmonary artery. Okay, so pulmonary artery it is pushed to the lungs. From there, it comes via the left atrium to the via the pulmonary veins. Then from left atrium, it pushed back to the left ventricle. But here, what happened? This blood will directly from left atrium crosses to the right atrium. Once again, it comes back here. So excess pressure is present on the right ventricle as well as the pulmonary artery. Right ventricle as well as the pulmonary artery. Right ventricle as well as the pulmonary artery. So due to this, what happened? Due to this, there is enlargement of the heart. The next, electrocardiogram or ECG or EKG shows abnormal rhythms, arrhythmias or dysarrhythmias, and detects heart muscle stress. So due to that, what happened? Automatically the ECG is going to give us the variations in the rhythm cycle of the readings. Rhythm will not be maintained over the ECG reading. At the same time, you can able to see the excess muscle stress. Then echocardiogram. Echo identifies the site of ASD and associated lesions on document left to right flows. So here under the echocardiogram, we can able to clearly see or we can able to clearly diagnose ASD and associated lesions. At the same time, we can able to document how much flow from right to left or left to right it is mixing up in. Next, cardiac catheterization. This is not only for diagnosis. This will be used in case of as an optional treatment also, where we can able to solve the problem. So not needed for initial diagnosis, but performed if the defect can closed using an occlusion device where cardiac catheterization will be used. We'll see about that one. Moving on to the medical management. In case of medical management, for the children those who are not having any symptoms or children have no symptoms and require no medications. However, some children may need to take medication to help the heart work better. Like example, like digoxins, diuretics, then infection control, oral antibiotics has to be followed. So here, the growth and development process possibility are there for spontaneous closure. That's why those who are not having no symptoms, for them will be waiting that whether it is closing by its own. The next, moving on to the surgical management. In case of surgical management, by using cardiac catheterization, if the defect can be closed using an occlusion device only in ostium secundum, we can able to do the occlusion device closure. Then surgical intervention are used for the primary repair. That is the two one. That is the sinus one as well as the ostium primum. For these two cases, we are going to use this one primary repair, that is suture closure as well as patch repair. Either suture closure and patch repair. So moving on to the occlusion device. The occlusion device are introduced via the cardiac catheterization. Okay, so where it directly used only for the secundum cases, ostium secundum cases, the second one, the middle one, where the occlusion device will be carried at the tip of the catheter after entering inside the defects, where where the device will be inflated. After inflating, it will be fixed in position. After fixing in position, the catheter will be removed from the position, where the device will act as a septal valve, which is preventing the blood mixing from left to right atrium. Okay, left to right atrium. The next, then the second one is we can able to see here clearly how this is the cardiac catheterization. Either they will select the femoral artery or the brachial one, then it will be reaching on this position. After that, this will be done. This is the second one, how they are using a septal defect closure by using an expanding device or occlusion device. Next, if you are able to see that this is the patch repair or suturing, we can able to see here they are going for a open bypass surgery, opening the heart. After opening, they are doing the suturing over the site. After doing the suturing, where exactly in case of the larger one, they can able to do this one. So this area, the patch like suture has been done. After doing this suture, the heart will be closed. The heart will be closed. So here either opening in this transverse position or in this position they will be cutting. So by doing this surgery, where the child will be completely removed from the recovered from the problem. Completely recovered from the problem. So this is the surgical intervention for the atrial septal defect. And the last one is complications. Over the complications, if you are seeing congestive heart failure, the most one, because the heart fails to function. The next, infective endocarditis. This is due to recurrent respiratory tract infection that will lead to furthermore the infection is entering into the circulation, which affects the cardiac layers also. Then atrial arrhythmias. The atrial functioning will be affected. The arrhythmia of the atrium will not be maintained because the right side will become hypertrophy also, and possibility of the pulmonary hypertension. So these are the complications. So today's class we saw regarding atrial septal defect. What is atrial septal defect and what are the types of atrial septal defect, the causes of atrial septal defect, then signs and symptoms, diagnostic evaluation, management, medical and surgical, as well as complications. Okay, so over this concept, first and foremost, we want to see that about the nursing management. In commonly, we'll discuss for the congenital heart defects. Thank you.